Hello and welcome to an episode of Excel at Excel. Today we're going to be taking a look at if statements and the power that they by themselves or combined with other statements will give you when you're utilizing Excel for a variety of different situations. And I'll provide some examples, and of course, however you use Excel in your day-to-day, you can implement the if statement along with some helper formulas to really open up the possibilities that Excel allows for you. So let's go ahead, and whenever I start with a formula in Excel, I like to think about it outside of what the actual language in the formula is and how I can best come to understand what the formula is trying to do. So with an if statement, we have a couple of simple parts here. We have if and then a logical test. So I think of this as if something that we're testing for, right, then our value of true. So if something I'm testing for is true, return this output, and if it's false, return this output. So if something to test for is true this, if false this. So let's go ahead and write out our statement. If B7 equals C7, then return yay, it works. And of course, in our formula with text, let's put in parentheses. And if not, boo, it doesn't work. So what are we looking at here? We've got B7 equals C7. Right now, both B7 and C7 are empty. Empty cells, nothing in there. So we're getting a return of yay, it works. So if I just add anything in here, boo, it doesn't work, comes back, right? Because B7 no longer equals C7. So our false returns boo, it doesn't work. That's it. That's as simple as the if statement needs to be. And it's just doing a test. And if it's true, you get back the first response. If it's false, you get back the next response. So let's go ahead and take a look at some examples I have here. In our first one, we're going to be looking at rental properties. And let's say you have a number of rental properties that you own, and you just charge a standard late fee for late payments. Let's say you don't charge a different late fee amount based on the rental property, but just a standard late fee across all of them. So we have three columns here at the end, E, F, and G, that are all built on if statements. So in column E, if we take a look, we're looking at the date paid column and the due date column. So if the date paid is greater than the due date, we're going to return late. And if it's not greater, we're going to turn on time. So in this example here, the due date is 12/1, date paid 12/1. It's not greater than the date paid, so we're going to return an on time. Now if we drop down here, we can see that the date and date paid is greater than the due date. So what happens is, instead of getting on time back, the false, we get the true, which is late. Then we'll see what happens down here in the next column, column F, our late fee. This is looking at the on time or late column, and it's saying if that on time or late column equals on time, return not applicable. They paid on time, no reason to charge the late fee. However, in our instance here, it was false. So it's going to return the 5% late fee here in the column. So the 5% of $650 is $32.50. Then over here in the total owed column, it's going to say if the late fee column equals not applicable, then just return the basic rent. But if it's false and there is a fee in the late fee column, then bring back the late fee total plus the rent. Then you can see it's up to $68.25. If I jump this back to 12/1, returns NA, and we have our fee down there. So you see you have all of these down here on time or late. You can change these, and they're going to switch back, and then our total owed is going to switch back. So since this is in a table form, we're going to go ahead and add in our property information back in here, our new property. So 456 new property. Let's make that lowercase 2. All right, and it already pulls down our formulas here. So we just have to add information. And boom. See, our formulas all work there. So that's a number of if statements being used that are dependent on information from previous if statements. That's a really simple way to get a bunch of different responses based on just entering a few fields of information. In this case, Once we have all of the information A, B, and C filled out, the only time we'll ever need to change or update is in column D, and everything else will just be calculated for us. So you can carry this on to a new tab for the next month and then the next month, etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at what if statements can do when they're paired with an and statement. So over here, I have a discount calculator. And here what we're doing, and you can utilize this calculator for, let's say you're running an online business and you sell in discounts, or maybe you're selling things on eBay or other marketplaces, and you say, if you spend this amount of money at my online store in a week, I'll give you this discount. So in this calculator, we have our raw purchase here in B1, our discount, which is where we're utilizing the if and statement that is looking over at E and F. Then in the new purchase price, we're going to take our raw purchase minus the discount. Tax is going to be whatever tax percentage times your new purchase price. I have 5% in here. I think that's pretty standard. Then our total here is going to be the new purchase plus the tax price. So let's go ahead and look at how this formula is built. So we have our first if statement, and it's saying if B1, the raw purchase, is less than or equal to E3, then return a value of 0, right? If you spent less than $99, then you're not going to get a discount. Or if you spent $99 or less, I should say. However, if that's false and we have spent over $99, we're going to need to check against all of these different purchase prices over here. So we're going to need nested if statements. We can't just return one false value. So our next if statement for our false is going to need an and statement because we have to qualify between 99 and 149. So it's saying if and the purchase price is greater than 99, and then the purchase price is less than or equal to 149, then we're going to take the purchase price times the 3% discount. So what happens if it's not less than 99 and not between 99 and 149? We're going to have to go and check another if statement. So you see I have all these if statements nested in here to check against each one of these values. So then we go and we look, well, let's do another if for our false statement, and the purchase price is greater than 149 and it's less than or equal to 199, then we're going to take our raw purchase times the 5% discount. You see it builds all the way out until the end, where our last false statement, when it's greater than 499, is going to be our raw purchase times our 15%. So you see here, if we have 499, well, you get your 9% discount of 44.91. So if someone is thinking, well, I want to get that greater discount, they really only have to spend 1 penny more, and they get that 15% discount. You see, save them quite a bit of money. So let's go ahead and just walk through a short one here and see how I built this out. So let's take out our raw purchase price and discount 2. And we're just going to go ahead and do with just two options here, really. So I like this capitalized, just more of a personal preference. So we're checking if our raw purchase price B1 is less than or equal to 99, return a value of 0. And if not, we're going to need a nested if statement, and we're going to need our and statement right away. So let's check if our raw purchase price is greater than 99 and our logical 2 is B1 less than or equal to 499, we'll return B1 times 3%. And if not, then we're just going to go ahead and return B1 times 15%. Because if it's we already know that if it's less than or equal to E3, so less than 99, it has to come back 0. So then we're saying, well, if it's greater than 99 and less than 499, return times 3%. And if that's false, well, it's got to be greater than 499, so just bring back 15%. Okay, so let's test this out. $99. All right, we're good. Let's go 100. Boom. $3 discount up here, $3 discount up here. So what happens if we go to 500? All right, we know our formula is working. We have the same thing up here. And you know what? I can check if my formula is working. Let's use an if statement to do that. It works. And if not, try again, friends. All right. So let's change our price up here to 100. All right. Let's change it to 150. Oh no, we've got to try again, friends. But that also means it's working in this case, right? Because 150 is going to calculate on this calculator to times 5%. But here, remember, we built only the discount between 99 and 499 and then a greater than 499. So anywhere I go in between there, it's not going to show up as working. But as soon as I get over that 490, boom, it's working, right? Because it's bringing back on this smaller calculator, there's only the two options. So that's how if and can be paired together. You've got to meet all the criteria using the and statement. And it's a nice way to build a discount calculator, as I've shown you here. So for our last example I want to show you today, let's go ahead and take a look at how if can be paired with an or statement. So over here, I have a spreadsheet with some different stocks on it, and I have a few columns of information already populated. I've got my purchase price here, what we paid for when we bought the stock, and then I have columns with different months and percentages. And what we're doing with this calculator is we want to know is when our value increase has reached over 10%, and because at 10%, we're going to want to sell the stock. So if we look at our statement here, it's saying if and then or, so only one of these statements needs to be true, right? So if or D2 is greater than or equal to 10%, here's D2, or F2 is greater or equal to 10%, all the way down through all these different months that I'm tracking. So if any of those at any time is 10%, we're going to return a value of sell. And if it's not, we're going to get a hold, right? Because, whatever reason in this example, we want to just sell once we've hit that 10% gain. So you can see here in the first month, nothing was over 10%. So what happens in February when we reach these, right? Well, 16.6% increase, I'm just going to sell. So let's say, for example, this is actually just 162. All right, I'm at 8%. You can see over here it flips back to hold. And over here, we're going to go to $10, flips over to sell because we're now at a 42.86% increase in market value. So that just goes all the way down here. And if you see, and this is, let's drag this one down. You can see those all changed, and then sell and hold changed depending on that. And man, if Ford went up to 2,214% increase, yeah, that's probably a quick sell there because I don't think that would last forever. So that's a way that you can manually track, if you want, all of your investments here, and if you're trying to reach a certain percentage, when to hold and sell, etc. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Excel at Excel. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the different ways that if statements can be used with and or statements, and there's a lot more formulas that can really also help increase the value of the if formula. Use it with an index match, and I'm sure we'll get around to that at some point. So if you like this Excel at Excel video, go ahead and subscribe for future content, and let us know what you thought in the comments below. Thanks.